Good morning, everybody. So we've been talking about paradigm shifts, and I had a couple people send me some questions on it, just asking me to go a little bit more into some of the concepts. And today's a very foggy day, and it reminded me of a story. You may have heard the story before, and if not, play along, or if so, play along. Story is of a dark and stormy night, very foggy, very little visibility, and this battleship is going along the waters, moving nice and slow, light shining bright, and trying to cut through the fog, taking it very careful, taking their measurements. And as they're moving along, they see another light coming towards them, and the battleship captain is warned by his by his navigator. He's warned to hey, there's another ship coming. He's like, well, signal to them and let them know that they should veer 20 degrees. So they signal to him, say, hey, you should veer 20 degrees. We're coming right at you. The guy right back says, actually, you should veer 20 degrees. And he writes back and says, I'm a captain. I'm telling you to veer 20 degrees. The other person writes back, well, I'm a seaman second class. I'm telling you need to veer 20 degrees. Sitting back one more time, all getting huffy and in a puff. I'm a captain of a battleship. You're just a seaman. Veer 20 degrees. Seaman writes back, signals back. I'm a seaman at a lighthouse. You need to veer 20 degrees. So the battleship veered 20 degrees. So these paradigms aren't always going to quickly change your life. In fact, I'd say most of the times they're not. Like I mentioned yesterday, a situation that I went through with my divorce. I mentioned my sister's death. And a lot of my sister dying, it changed my life instantly. It opened my awareness instantly. And I'd say it's been a 15-year journey for me. Like Stephen Covey in the book talked about how he and his wife became aware of how they were treating their child differently and how they were using that personality ethic to alter how they related to him. And by realizing that they were focusing on the wrong piece, they started focusing on their character ethics in order to raise their son. You know that wasn't overnight, right? Like there's no way that they went from being parents that were worried about the impression that others had on them and their family and their son to being parents that instantly acted correctly. Like that's a long process that they go through, and now that they're aware, they're picking at pieces in the story that of their own head, of their own vision, of their own filter that they now realize is incorrect. And so as they make wrong choices, this new filter, this new awareness allows them to make the tweaks and veer and change course and change direction. And that's one of the reasons why we're focusing so much on these paradigms and our habits, because as we get closer to forming our own identities, we are in our new identities. Those new identities will cause us to tweak and to twist and to turn and to veer and to change our heading and to change our course bit by bit as we continue to change our behavior and change the habits and build the habits, and we go. We talked at the end of Atomic Habits about how if you are focusing in on a particular skill set, you get to a point where the performance starts to degrade. So again, if you're aware now of this new paradigm, you're going to get to a point where you start to degrade, and you can say, well, as part of this new character paradigm that I'm trying to instill, like this is the direction I need to be going. I can't be coming here. I need to be coming back up and instituting new behaviors and new tweaks to continue to climb building on a correct paradigm. It's kind of like the 10 Commandments, you know, in the movie, where they basically at one point say, just because you don't do it, you didn't actually break the commandment, you broke yourself. Like you broke the rule. Like, that's a moral law that we are standing upon. And so you not doing it correctly doesn't break the commandment. The commandment's still the commandment. It's the foundation. It's the principle, right? It didn't break the commandment, it broke you. And that's where we are today. Once you've noticed through the fog that the light that is shining says that you need to veer directions, then that's the point where you can start tweaking and modifying and growing in your life to build on that foundation. So that's it today. Pretty simple. I hope it was helpful. Thank you all. We'll get back into the book and more of those principles tomorrow. Have a great one.